8 people injured here. 3v3 Argent Shelf Redux blue team. A whole bunch of Tyranids. We've got HTC 940615. Why do people put so many numbers in their name? I don't understand it. This guy is a tunneling commander with great mobility. Can also put out some good damage. Starts off in ranged combat. Alongside Rags is a Lictor Alpha melee specialist that can infiltrate and disrupt with some awesome offense too. And rounding off the blue team, ReaverFeaver is a big stumpy Hive Tyrant, very durable commander that walks through objects and cannot be suppressed. Great offense and support with some decent disruption too. Red team, Jl3, I think this is actually meant to be a stylized JB, plays a Warboss, a melee commander that walks through objects. Some very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. Alongside AnoMaly plays an Apothecary support commander that fights in melee combat. By default begins with a targeted heal and a passive health regeneration aura. Pretty cool colour scheme going on here, Mr. AnoMaly. And rounding off the team is lohaha 110, playing a Plague Champion. Starts off range combat with this damage over time bolter, can get melee weapons, some decent utility and support, can build turrets and repair, but it's very slow. Tyranids versus the universe then. Tyranids an incredibly strong faction when they are tripled up like this. You have towers, hive nodes, all of the Hive Tyrant passive buffs, you have pheromones, brood nests, lots of stuff that will affect all of your allies. All that mobility added to that makes them incredibly strong when tripled up like this. Lots of models going down here though. Spawn mines up for ReaverFeaver. Plague Champion doing that damage alongside his Chaos Space Marines. This is some Word Bearers DLC. Hormagaunts in amongst, and there's that explosion from the spawn mines. He's saying sorry because it does damage allies and it heavily damaged those Hormagaunts, but didn't take a model down. Ouch, and that is a squad wipe on those Chaos Space Marines. Really poor play from lohaha. I should have retreated them as soon as those Hormagaunts got in there. West side meanwhile, Warboss making a good run through, forcing off the Ravenant Alpha. Chaos Space Marines, of course, in contrast to Tyranids, don't have a whole lot of synergy when they're tripled up or doubled up. All of their worships obviously do not affect allies. You can't use Touch of Nurgle on allies as a Plague Champion. None of the Shrine buffs affect allies apart from the Plague Champions, which is actually pretty good. And I think the Sorcerer can use Coruscating Flame on allies, and he can use his Warp Globe on allies, but I think that's pretty much it. Double shooters up for JB, going into a Pain Boy on this west side. So surely HTC is going to want to get Barb Strangle Warriors on the field. 471, 460. The Hive Time pushing forward and going down. What's he up to? Tactical Marines on the field for AnoMaly. Heavy Infantry, very versatile. Can get a myriad of weapon upgrades in tier 2, which they can constantly switch between if they're willing to pay each time, which is a pretty unique mechanic in this game. Usually you are stuck to your upgrade choice, which has major connotations moving forward. Tactical Marines able to change at will. We have some Grenade Launcher Heretics and Havocs on the field now for lohaha. Big loss on that Chaos Space Marine squad going down, so it would have fed a lot of XP to the stuff that killed them. Well, Spawn Mines probably did a lot of the damage. Hormagaunts got almost a quarter of their bar from it as well. 469, 448, big engagement here. There's the Grenade Barrage, nicely hit Grenade Barrage from the Heretics and lohaha. Why was he pushed his CSM up way too far there? Not sure what that was all about. There's the Flesh Hook on the Devastators, everyone's favourite ability. And this guy has his Feed the Tendrils, incredibly powerful tier 1 weapon, a power weapon with a self-heal on hit. 63 power melee DPS, as you can see there. The Lictor Alpha starts off with the most powerful melee weapon by default as well. I think it's 50 DPS. Hive Tyrants is also pretty damn strong, just over 40 I believe. 467, 439. Let's look at the west side. Orks dominating. Is he going to come mid now? Warboss is on his way. Where are his double shooters? They are bashing power and shooting the crap out of warriors. HTC has not realised this is going to lose that warrior brood. Big losses early on for both teams. Painful stuff. Burners up for JB. this Slugger squad almost leveled already. There's a Ravener tunnel, as you can see. Another way that Tyranids team up really well together. Your allies can use your tunnels. Hive Tyrant capping. There's a brood nest from the Hive Tyrant's global bar as to reinforce nearby allies and gives them a slight health regeneration bonus. Assault Marines on the way for AnoMaly, a good choice. I think we really want to get in and stop the DPS coming from these upgraded Termicus, because they do put out a very reasonable amount of piercing damage when they have their toxin sacks, especially when you have so many of them. Tier 2 for ReaverFeaver without toxin sacks upgrades. In fact, he's got nothing apart from the extended carapace. We've seen that charge a couple of times, 457, 439, which deals with the havocs quite nicely all by himself. But maybe not now. Plague Champion has the Bile Spear. It's a pretty good choice here, I think. He can use the Billis Discharge to stop the Hormagaunts and the Lictor Alpha and the Hive Tyrant in his tracks, but he doesn't want to get that close. He's going to lose his Plague Champion. That is really bad positional play there from lohaha. Hive Tyrant in amongst Havocs going to town. Can he get a model? He can't get a model. It's pretty unlucky, and his Heretics in trouble. lohaha not concentrating at all. Obviously a new player perhaps we have here. His CSM need to run away. Don't want to fight Hormagaunts in melee combat in general with your CSM in tier 1. 457, 419. Devastators on this west side, and now HTC gets doubled and forced off quite easily. lohaha was alone there against two armies and just wasn't prepared for it. Why are these scouts so strangely split up? What's going on? I've seen this a few times lately in replays, but they do get away. 457, 405. lohaha losing his Heretics, lost his commander as well. Here comes the Apothecary to revive this guy with his customized Storm Bolter. Gives him the awesome full auto, and you can see him using it there on the Lictor after to force him off. Assault Marines jumping in with their disruptive landing and melee weapons. There's pheromones, is it? Yes. So that big blob of green stuff, allowing the Hormagaunts to reinforce, but down they go. Really good assist from AnoMaly there, really good assist. ReaverFeaver losing his Hormagaunts, goes straight into tier 3, seriously. Some Spore Mines dropped in by Rags from his global bar. Unable to even get a... oh, we did get one detonation, and down goes the brood nest as well. 457, 372, that was a pretty good engagement for red team. They had a couple of bad ones from lohaha's inability to retreat in time. Plague Champion now burning down nodes, or I should say dissolving nodes with his Bile Spewer. Double shooters fully upgraded coming back to the west side. HTC seems to only be able to cap this side when JB is not there, so he seems to have the measure room so far. Did not get Barb Strangle Warriors. Does have the Synapse Aura for damage though, and range Synapse up. So you might see a big nasty ranged blob of death from the Tyranids. Pain Boy on the field automatically unlocks the unstable field injection when he gets to tier 2, but JB is not going tier 2. We have tier 3 for Rags and ReaverFeaver, some very quick tier 3s which could backfire here. They don't really have the power to get anything yet, and if red team can push through and start bashing, they might be kind of stuck in a lurch. 457, 313. There's a 2-to-1 for blue. You see that passive health regeneration aura from the Apothecary. You do need to get reasonably close these days. I think the radius was reduced to 20. Lots of Daka here. Hormagaunts moving in. And the Assault Marines jump. How are those guys suppressed there? Not sure. The double shooters seem to be suppressed by something. No idea. Ravener Alpha does have reinforced chitting and, or kiting I should say, I always say that incorrectly. And the Tyrant Guard on the way, really good unit for that west side. I think 452, 303, Hive Tyrant charging in, really risky charge. He's going to go down here. Need to be careful with your Hive Tyrant charges. He's a tough commander, but he can be focused down if you get him into bad positions. Assault Marines with their Sergeant, red team pushing incredibly hard now. Massive mistake by Rags and Fever to go tier 3 so quickly. Is it going to cost them here? Special attack from the Lictor Alpha. Still has those feeder tendrils. 436, 303. Reinforced chitin giving the Raven Alpha that slow aura. And immunity to weapon knockback, which is pretty nice. Here's that Tyrant Guard. Very, very slow when knocked under Synapse. What an awesome unit. Capillary Tower coming up. Warboss making himself known with some stomps and stuff. He has spiky armor as well. And Angry Bits. He's got his Power Claw queued up for tier 2. Really, really late tier 2 from JB. 413, 303. Some Nurgle worship. Do not fight the Lictor Alpha. Putting down his pheromones there. I think it does debuff in some way. As you can see, the heretics with their debuff circle. I'm not sure exactly how it debuffs. I assume it's just a damage debuff, is it? 387, 303. Lictor Alpha tanking like crazy. Heretics just about getting away there. Here come Assault Marines though to finish it off and get to tier 2. And now they jump the blob. Red team really keeping the pressure up here. They need to bash power though. 364, 303. If they're paying attention, and it's not always easy to pay attention to what you're... Yeah, now they know that they're tier 3. I mean, they might have guessed it by the fact that they saw nothing in tier 2 from Rags and ReaverFeaver, but it's not always easy to make that connection when you're concentrating on your units. So we have a Carnifex up for ReaverFeaver, but he does not have the resources to upgrade this guy. He needs to retreat as CSM. There we go. So, oh, Whirlwind is up, which does have that Hunter Killer missile. And Tactical Marines becoming Stone Guard veterans. There we go. Teleports in a new squad of Stone Guard veterans. These guys, first company Tactical Marines that can change their ammo type to combat all targets. Carnifex chasing, that's a scary sight. And it's gone for the Barb Strangler. Massive plasma damage weapon with instant suppression on it. The Plague Champion with Blight Grenades late game, not a good choice because we're going to start seeing monstrous creatures now. Yes, a Swarm Lord on the way for Rags, and now blue team could push, but they did not push power when they needed to enough. I don't think red team should have really been making a beeline for it. Lictor Alpha is angry with a power node, and Hive Tyrant is leading a charge through the mid. Should be able to at least decap here. Whirlwind backing away, really good disruption, but not much in the way of direct damage. Power Claw Warboss going to town on this Tyrant Guard. Now goes into shield wall mode, which gives it vehicle armor and health regen, but we do have tank busters and that claw, so this Tyrant Guard is done for. He put both of his Warboss buffs on these sluggers as well. That's Ardboys and use your choppers. Warboss has spectacular buffs which you can use on allies. 303, 291, even if they're not Orks, I mean. Explosions for those Termagants. Took out a whole bunch of models. Stick Bombers, really good on this map, I think, because you have really good open throwing areas through the mid and stuff. 303, 268. Down goes the Capillary Tower immediately. Should never have put one there. Heretics with an aspiring champion. The Hive Tyrant now has his Venom Cannon charging in. I might go down immediately. Why did he charge there? 303, 363. Just get your shots in with your Barb Strangler and suppress. Loses his Hive Tyrant again. Shooting up the Termagants. We do have a las cannon for AnoMaly that will do big chunks of damage to vehicles and, or large targets I should say, and snare their movement. Carnifexes do have vehicle armor. Tank Buster Barrage, nicely hit on those Termagants. I think it was aiming for the Carnifex. And an autocannon is up for JB, for Lohaha I should say, apologies. 288, 263. Stone Guard veterans using a Vengeance round trying to chase down that Carnifex. There's the heal from the Apothecary. What level is this guy? Level 5. So he's got that awesome level 5 heal and armor the Apothecarian. 280, 263. Double Marquezine CSM pushing forward. And there's a Noxious Cloud. It's not realised here, ReaverFeaver. Wow, lost a lot of stuff. Not always easy to see that thing, that Noxious Cloud. There's, was that a melter bomb on the Swarm Lord? I think it was a super unit for Tyranids. Devastating in melee combat. Doesn't do splash damage, but does a lot of DPS and has an awesome blade flurry attack. Can also heal himself by draining health from nearby enemies, and gives you a speed buff synapse and a reinforcement synapse, which are pretty damn awesome. 265, 263. 1-to-1 cap is very, very close on VPs. West side is turning red again. He's done well over here, JB. He's in tier 3 with a bunch of resources as well. We might see, surely we're going to see Nob Squads, I would think, to tie up the Carnifexes and stuff, the inevitable Carnifexes, but we only see one so far. Maybe not that inevitable. We have a tier 3 Lictor from Rags. These guys are freaking scary. And Gene Stealers, and it looks like he's going for a melee Synapse Warrior Brood as well. So we're going to see, all of a sudden, powerful, powerful melee on the field. HTC has a Carnifex of his own, so here's the second one, going for the Thornback. Gives it 1875 hit points and a melee charge, and the ability to spit out Rippers, which is really annoying because you can send them ahead to tie up las cannons and stuff, because Rippers can't be suppressed, or they can't even be snared by most things, I believe. Ormagaunt's wiped out in an instant. Not sure what he was trying to do there. Kicking off mid. Lictor Alpha jumping in and disrupting stuff. In fact, that's a tier 3 Lictor, my apologies. This guy has heavy melee damage. There's a lot of damage, but goes down there. Surely he's going to go down. Yes, he is. Spawn Mines dropped in. No, he gets away. Unbelievable. Swarmlord leading a charge. You see, this is when the Lictor Alpha should have jumped in. When the Swarmlord is in here, and there's an Imperial Abyss on the Tyranids, wiping out tons of them very, very quickly. Wow. But didn't get a squad wipe there. So all in all, not too bad for the Tyranids, that nuke. In fact, it's dragging in his own units now. That's pretty damn unlucky. Look how far away it drags them in from. He's going to lose. Wow, it almost lost the CSM squad through his own nuke. 224, 263. Nob Squad on the field for JB. Going to be an explosive finish. 219, 263, 2-to-1 cap for red. Can they hold their natural here under assault from the Tyranids? This Swarmlord really leading the line. Hive Tyrant's level 3 with that Venom Cannon. Does a lot of damage, this thing. But does it do enough to justify it? Losing access to the Crushing Claw allows him to sit back and support with his improved synapse and stuff, but he doesn't have that. He has extended carapace, so he's going to charge in and then not be able to tie things up. 200, 263. Whirlwind being chased down by the Swarmlord, getting some rear arm hits, or trying to in a way. Here's the las cannon. Doesn't want to get it too close for the Swarmlord. 198, 263. Grenade, and finishes off the Termagant's not paying attention there. I think that was that ReaverFeaver? I think it was. He's on the west side. There's a ton of formation here. Not sure what it did. Looks like it one-shot that bunker though. West side is still very red. 198, 263. They need to help. One of them needs to go and help HTC over there. There's Angel of Death. Nice usage by AnoMaly. Gets in the cap. Might have got it anyway. Stone Guard veterans and Vanguard veterans on the field now. I think he should have kept his Assault Marines, because that Melter Bomb's useful versus these Swarmlord and stuff. There's another Brood Nest. 187, 263. Couple of Capillary Towers here as well. Hive Tyrant charges in, and then he used his Psychic Scream. Good play. 181, 263. Massive engagement here, but Lohaha this time is backing off nicely. And there's a Rocks from JB. Can he hit those Gene Stealers flush? Gene Stealers have their Rending Claws in tier 3. Swarmlord's going to go down here, I think. Or is it? The las cannon unable to set up, but it does go down in a way. The Rock's doing a lot of damage to that big guy. 176, 263. ReaverFeaver did not move back in and support, did he, after he backed away from the Rocks? Don't think he could have saved it. There's a good leap from the Lictor Alpha this time, who has the deadly jump. Rags has lost a lot of stuff. 176, 263, 1-to-1. Lots of pressure though continuing on this VP, but here is a Land Raider Phobos. Twin Link las cannons on the side sponsors huge damage to large targets. for only 2,000 hit points on a very slow moving large target. Can go down really quickly, but forces off the Tyranids here. Lictor Alpha goes down level 3. Hive Tyrant just about gets away this time, and red team, ouch, continue to dominate this west side also. We have Nob Squad with huge hammers, Nob Leader and Mina and Greener, so fully upgraded Nob Squad. 176, 263. Red team can start to edge through the mid, I think. Terminator's up for AnoMaly with Cyclone Missile Launcher immediately. Red team in a good position. Really good position. The tier 3 rush. Is it going to bite them in the arse? Couple of zone throats for those CSM would be good right about now, but now a pretty big risk with Vanguard veterans and Terminators able to teleport in and jump in. Are they going to push though? That's the question. Do you push and risk your position here, your solid position? Looks like they are. Looks like they are going to push. HTC losing a Carnifex, did he? Or was that just a roster visual bug? Yeah, there's the exploding Carnifex. 176-263. Nob Squad going to town, taking out the Raphan Alpha. HTC in all sorts of trouble. Base turrets not in range to fire. Red team thinking about pushing mid. Looks like they are now. These Chaos Space Marines getting an aspiring champion. And here is the push. They are here. We need to decap though. Terminators are going to do so, are they? Yes, this Land Raider gives you no support. Just a basic, massive gun platform. Does have the Dirge Caster though, which is nice. CSM are trying to decap 176-263. Pressure is staying on this way by Orks now in almost full retreat. Pain Boy is still here. Where's the Warboss? He's in retreat. Jl3 is in retreat path and finish him off. Phobos needs to be very careful here. Stone Guard veterans using their Vengeance rounds. There's a Throner formation that could be really bad for those heretics. Those Stone Guard veterans need to move as well, I think. Not too bad. Survived it quite well, I think. 173, 263, 2-to-1 cap for the red team. Apothecary is going to go down in retreat, I think. Down to 1 hit point, does not get away. Here are the Vanguard veterans. First company Assault Marines with power melee weapons, Thunder Hammer, Lightning Claw, and 2 power swords. These guys do not mess around in melee combat. Can also get, ouch, really nicely timed Bioplasma shot there from Rags. That's from the Venom Cannon Carnifex. 165, 263. Can they look after this Phobos? That's the big question. They should be repairing this thing, surely. Might be time to switch to the Plague Fist so we can use it to cap. Terminator's taking tons of damage, losing a model and teleporting out. Apothecary is back on his feet thanks to the Plague Champion who hits level 5. There's a heal on the Terminators. Apothecary himself is level 7. This Phobos is done for. We need to start moving it away immediately. 154, 263. Phobos goes down, and that's a big chunk of red for the red team. Or whoever got the last hit anyway. G-Stealers now onto these Devastators. Scary, scary stuff. Chaos Predator with a mark of Corn for lohaha, and he has another one without a mark back at base. West side though is still very red. Blue team can push mid all they want, but they need to help out west side, I think. Somebody needs to come out here and help out. 141, 263, 2-to-1 for red, still holding on to this cap. What are these guys doing? Run away. Taking Barb Strangler hits. Look at the damage from that Barb Strangler. Level 2 Carnifex, painful. And the Venom Cannon Carnifex forcing melee combat there. There's still a massive Carnifex smacking him in the face, so even with their ranged weapons they still hurt a hell of a lot. Vanguard veterans jumping in. Some stick bombs thrown in there, almost hitting the allied assault marines, or Vanguard veterans I should say. 123, 263. Can he manage his scouts here? Lohaha hasn't been too tight on his micro so far. Maybe should have got some Plague Marines up instead. A bit easier to manage. Pathing on tanks. never been Dawn of War 2's strong point. I have Tyrant with a little charge there, just showing that he's angry. He's going to revive the Lictor Alpha now. 1, 2, 3, 2, 6, 3, or is he going to be able to? Level 5 Hive Tyrant, it might level him. Not quite. Predator needs to back the hell away. This thing doesn't have a mark. He lost his other one as well. 117, 263. They're holding on to this 2-to-1 cap. Blue team seems obsessed with pushing a natural, not wanting to help on the west side at all. And JB himself is torn between helping mid and keeping hold of this 2-to-1. I think he should stay here, because pushing mid is very different from actually capping mid and holding it for any length of time, and they're not able to do that so far. Blue. Brood nest up, capillary towers all over the place. One right here that he didn't destroy. Getting very low on VPs here, Blue, and still nobody coming to help out over here. Doom of Malachite on the field for ReaverFeaver. For HTC, here it is. Kind of a super unit sub-commander type guy. 84, 263. Warboss going after the Carnifex. And red team doubling up over here. Blue team pushing mid, they're decapping now. Ouch, Plasma Cannon getting a massive shot, killing a bunch of models. That Barb Strangler Carnifex has done really well, it's level 3. To tie up that Plasma Cannon or something. There's the suppression from the Barb Strangler, and he is tying it up with a Venom Brood, doing reasonable melee damage there, as you can see. 71, 263. Here's that Whirlwind, which itself needs to be pretty damn careful. There's double Venom Broods here. Apothecary and some scouts. So we're going to see them push forward for a grenade. Nope, he's backing away, and blue team have capped mid. Perhaps a small misjudgment from AnoMaly there, coming over to the west side to support when I don't think JB needed any. 71, 254. Capillary towers all over the place. Look at them. One in base. One there, two there. That one's destroyed. Imperial Abyss, the second one from Lohaha, which forces off the blue team. Well, parts of it in a way. That's pretty good. Now should be able to safely cap. I see a paroxysm from the Doom. This is ReaverFeaver's Doom. Here it is. Really good for dealing with groups of infantry, especially if they're heavy or super heavy, because paroxysm does huge amounts of damage to that. It's going to go down here though. Vanguard veterans are on it, and down it goes. No longer has its shield, of course. ReaverFeaver really not paying attention to his stuff. Going to lose the Carnifex as well. What's he doing keeping it here? 51, 247. Red team Tito natural back for a double. Flash gets on the field for JB. Has he lost anything, or he lost a shooter squad? These guys just about making it out as well. 40, 247. No support whatsoever. I don't think I've seen ReaverFeaver or Rags come to the west side once. It's been red basically for the whole game, and that's how they've won. Gotta look after your allies, gotta support. Trying to formation, doing a good job wreaking havoc, which is what it does. Jl3 now trying to decap. Desperation here from blue team. 22-247. Lictor Alpha jumps in. Jl3 are wiped off the map, and this Lictor Alpha is going to die as well. Desperation does not pay off for Rags. He's got another Carnifex on the way. Really strange pace to this game with that very quick tier 3. Red team pushing through, not bashing power when they should have, but being able to hold on because of that west side. GG from AnoMaly, GG from JB. AnoMaly's been really strong with his Apothecary play, and JB obviously incredibly strong on that west side. Lohaha, maybe a new player still learning how to judge engagements, has lost a lot of stuff, but he's still in there. Has another Phobos, has a Predator tank, has kept hold of these Kill Space Marines up to level 4. Plague Champions down right now. 3-2-4-7 will 1-to-1 cap. Blue team decapping and now capping the west side. It's not quite over yet, but blue team are pushed back to their natural. Knob squad are idle. There we go. Now a 2-to-1 for blue. Surely they're not going to hold on to this and do anything, because JB and AnoMaly have really strong armies, and now this Phobos is pushing. Where's AnoMaly's stuff though? He's playing it safe, I think, and coming over to the west side to just get that cap for a few seconds. Terminators with their decap. Carnifex moving up with a Venom Cannon. Very good damage versus large targets, and Terminators do count as large targets. There's the... what is it called? I forget what the thing's called. That knockback attack from the Doom Malantai. Slugger's moving in on him. 3-2-2-9. He's using his absorb life though. Cataclysm, that's it. And there's the game. 2-1 for red at the end. Playing it safe, coming west and capping. So triple Tyranids are beaten. Really should have done more to support. HTC would have made the game a lot closer. Red team actually finishing it with over 200 VPs, which you wouldn't have expected from all the pressure on this natural, but JB was under none. Right at the end here, a Lictor Alpha from Rags coming to support the west side, but way too little, way too late. Let's look at the commanders at the end of the game. Level 5 Raven Alpha had Corrosive Devourer, Reinforced Chitin, and the Synapse Aura. Go for some ranged build there, which kind of capitulated, and then he went tier 3. Rags with Feeder Tendrils level 4, Deadly Jump, and the Lone Hunter. Hive Tyrant was down, had the Venom Cannon, Extended Carapace, and Psychic Scream. Warboss level 7, Power Claw, Heavy Armor, and Angry Bits. Incredibly scary Warboss over there. AnoMaly with a level 9 Apothecary. Did really well. Customized Stormbolter, Armored Apothecarian, and improved medical equipment. And lohaha level 5 Plague Champ with Bile Spear. I didn't actually see him use Bilious Discharge once. He must have used it though. And Blight Grenades, which didn't do a whole lot for him. Thanks for watching guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.